What's up, Budget Billers? My name is Trail, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your fourth stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Monday, May the 10th. Hello, everyone, and I hope all of you mothers out there had an amazing Mother's Day yesterday. It should have been much better than it was last year, as most people were avoiding to seeing our loved ones as the pandemic and the virus was at its peak. But now that majority of adults have been vaccinated, I'm sure it was good to see our mothers and relatives this year. But my job has never ended, and we need to talk about the Social Security changes that President Biden talked about on the campaign trail. So far, we know President Biden wants to have Social Security reform. We have Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Ron Wyden, and now Chuck Schumer as well. All five of them have vowed to make the necessary changes to Social Security while they have the power to do so. We know that they have recently called for a $200 increase in monthly benefits for all Social Security beneficiaries, which would account for more than 60 million Americans. That would include our seniors, SSI, SSDI, VA or veterans, and railroad beneficiaries. And if successful, that would be an additional $4,000 over the next 2 years. But not only would it offer them more income, it would also pull them above the poverty line. But let's not go any further. So, hey, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, Bitcoin and crypto news, and stimulus update news. So if you're interested in any of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. Also, if you end up liking the content in this video or even laughing at one of my jokes, then be sure to like this video. Other than that, guys, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, so as we all know, millions of Americans count on Social Security benefits to provide income when people retire or become disabled, or even when loved ones pass away. And we also know that the Social Security program has been running low on funds for a while now, which the Social Security Administration shows that 79% of promised beneficiaries will be payable in 2035 due to the depletion of its trust funds, which the pandemic could cause that date to actually move even sooner. We know that President Biden talked about this issue and the big changes he wanted on the campaign trail. And under his plan, eligible workers would get a guaranteed minimum benefit equal to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. People who have received benefits for at least 20 years would get a 5% increase, while widows and widowers would receive about 20% more per month. This increase would help the millions of Americans that don't receive enough throughout the year. President Biden proposed to pay for these higher benefits by applying Social Security payroll taxes to those making more than $400,000 per year. In 2021, workers generally pay 6.2% Social Security tax on up to $142,800 of wages, which means a lot of more money could be collected if he raises that amount. Now, it's key to point out that President Biden originally wanted to include this in his first COVID relief package during his term, but as we have seen, that was a possibility if they wanted to get $1,400 stimulus checks out to the Americans at a fast rate. But Biden said that if they were unable to get the Social Security increase in the first piece of legislation, then lawmakers could consider it later in the year, which could prompt bigger conversations about Social Security reform. Nancy Altman, which is the president of Social Security Works, is also advocating for Social Security expansion. She said that
if it's not done in the COVID package, then it would make sense to do it in a comprehensive Social Security package, which gives some impetus to acting on it in this coming year.
But even though the Democrats have majority in the House and the Senate, there have been major obstacles in getting Social Security reform approved. Director Dan Adcock said it will require 60 votes in the Senate, which means that we have to persuade probably at least 10 Republican senators to go along with the comprehensive Social Security reform bill. While they do have one positive Republican on their side, and that is Mitt Romney of Utah. He also introduced his own bill called the Trust Act, which would let lawmakers form bipartisan committees to address programs like Social Security that face a shortfall in funding. He wants to fast-track changes to improve the program, but he receives no support from his colleagues. But what if President Biden and other lawmakers are able to get the Social Security reform that they want? Well, in the proposed plan, they want to increase it by 125% of the federal poverty level, which right now in 2021, the poverty level for one individual is around $12,880, which is about $1,073 per month. Now, if we take that amount and add an additional 125%, that would be an increase of $16,100 for the year. Now, divide that by 12 months and we get around $1,342 rounded up per month. So a substantial increase that is mostly needed. And then some of the other things that Biden wants to change is the COLA, or the cost of living adjustment. He wants to add an inflation measurement that would increase COLA by 2 percentage points annually. That would offer the appropriate increase to align with the annual inflation. So all of that is some very good news, guys. Now, we also have the biggest fighter for the American people, and that is Bernie Sanders. If you go and check out his front page on his website, this is what you see on the front page and center. It says, the right to secure retirement. It says, today, we say to our senior citizens that we understand that you cannot live in dignity when you are trying to survive on $13,000 or $14,000 a year in Social Security benefits. My Republican colleagues want to cut Social Security, but we have some bad news for them. We're not going to cut Social Security benefits. We're going to expand them. Then, if you scroll down, you can see the key points of his fight to Social Security retirement. Number 1, expand Social Security benefits for all recipients and protect pensions. Number 2, guarantee home and community-based long-term care services. Number 3, protect our most vulnerable seniors by quadrupling funding for the Older Americans Act and expanding other programs seniors rely on. And number 4, expand and train the direct care workforce we need. So it appears that Bernie Sanders' main focus right now is for our seniors and making sure that we take care of our Social Security beneficiaries. In his proposal, he wants to guarantee comprehensive health care. He says that health care is a human right and not a privilege. He wants Medicare for all that will cover dental care, hearing aids, routine vision exams, and more, as well as primary care, hospital services and prescription drugs, mental health care, and substance use disorders. He also wants to slash drug prices in the United States. He said that we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, and 1 in 5 Americans cannot afford to pay for the medicines prescribed by their doctors, while other seniors take an average of 4.5 drugs every month. The annual price of medications was more than $30,000 in 2017, which is more than most seniors receive per year. Now, Bernie Sanders wants to expand Social Security by lifting the cap and applying the payroll tax on all income over $250,000 in order to accomplish these 4 things. Number 1, make sure that Social Security will pay every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 52 years. Number 2, expand benefits across the board, including a $1,300 a year benefit increase for seniors with incomes of $16,000 a year or less. Number 3, he wants to lift millions of seniors out of poverty by increasing the minimum benefits paid to low-income workers when they retire. And number 4, he wants to increase cost of living adjustments to keep up with the rising cost of healthcare and prescription drugs by establishing a consumer price index for the elderly. So we can see that in order to pay for these Social Security benefit increases, Bernie Sanders wants to raise the payroll tax for incomes above $250,000, and President Biden wants the income above $400,000. And then we also talked about the proposal last week about the SSI, or the Supplemental Security Income increase, in which they want to raise it by 100% 100% of the federal poverty level. So if we do the math on that one, we have the poverty level sitting right now at about $12,880 plus the 100% increase of that is the same amount, which is divided by 12 months, and we get an increase of about $1,073 per month. And I must say that this is a substantial increase that would really help SSI recipients and other beneficiaries. So these increases in Social Security benefits, or SSI SSDI, could literally change the Social Security program and help about 60 million Americans who are really struggling right now, especially due to the pandemic. Right now we have two stimulus packages on the table, the Americans Jobs Plan and the Americans Families Plan. Now I can see this being included in the Families Plan, as the focus would help majority of families right now. As far as when we will actually see this happening, well, they have to get this thing done sometime this year in 2021, as time is of essence. The midterms are coming up soon next year, and the Democrats could possibly lose a few seats, which would make it even harder to push such a substantial piece of legislation. Right now, there is a 50-50 tie in the Senate, where there are 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans, which would end up in a tiebreaker to be made by Vice President Kamala Harris. So it is advantageous to get this thing done in 2021 versus waiting until 2022. And this also goes for other things that the Democrats want to pass as well, because the Republicans can easily take over the House or the Senate in the next election. So it's very important to get this thing started right now while they can. And then as time passes on, they may have to use the budget reconciliation process, similar to what we did on the third stimulus package. So it's definitely going to get interesting in the near term to see how the Democrats push to get the Social Security reform done over the next 7 months of this year. As usual, I will keep you guys up to date on any updates or changes going forward. And if you like to hear that type of news, go ahead and hit the like button for me and make sure that you are subscribed. Now, regarding the fourth stimulus checks, the push for the $2,000 monthly reoccurring payments is heating up even more right now, as well as we have over 58 lawmakers calling for monthly checks until the pandemic is over. Representative Ilhan Omar spearheaded a letter to President Biden, and she got 55 of her colleagues to sign this letter, urging for monthly payments of $2,000 per month. The letter said, "One more check is not enough during this public health and economic crisis. To truly build back better, families need stability and certainty through ongoing relief. They cannot be at the mercy of congressional gridlock." The letter urged monthly payments to continue until the economy recovers, and to include those who file taxes with a I-10 or an individual taxpayer identification number. The reason she signaled out the I-10 tax filers is because they were left out of the first 3 stimulus checks. Now right now I'm going to pop up on the screen a screenshot of all the lawmakers that signed this letter to President Biden. Each day this list gets longer and longer and longer with more support, especially after the disappointing jobs numbers that were released last week. We can see that Americans are still struggling to find work, and they need to keep food on their table as well as securing a roof over their heads. Also in this letter,
"This crisis is far from over, and families deserve certainty that they can put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads," the letter stated. Families should not be at the mercy of constantly shifting legislative timelines and ad hoc solutions.
But again, today is Monday, and we should see some interesting news coming out later today, as lawmakers plan to meet with President Biden regarding the 2 stimulus packages, and hopefully some substantial progress can be made this week. Either way, I will keep you guys posted as usual. Other than that, guys, hey, this has been another 4th stimulus check update for today. If you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.